thing for me to do, but I have to address this because this is a really kind of uh, this is the last straw. I'm gonna lose it, not really, but I just see this so often, and this is the number one complaint about Star Wars. Have you ever noticed this? If you're a Star Wars fan, like watching this, I actually probably hate you and don't like you, and you're probably not who I'm talking to. But like, if you're like me and you actually like Star Wars, like if Episode 8, I'm not. If Episode 8 is your favorite Star Wars movie, keep listening. If Episode 8 is your least favorite Star Wars movie, please turn this off and stop watching. Do not comment. Just actually comment. Yeah, comment and tell me what an asshole I am. Go ahead. But like my point is like this is what I'm getting at. Let me kind of explain what I'm talking about. I'm gonna read this post. I really like the game. I love Star Wars Outlaws, by the way. I played it, and I should like stream it or something. But anyways, I really like the game, but I feel a couple of changes. The game would be exceptional. So far, I'm about 10 hours in. I really like the game, and having a fun time exploring. The game is really good with immersion and making me feel like I'm in Star Wars. One thing that would make this game peak is allowing for weapon variety. No hate on Kay's blaster at all, but weapon customization could have made the combat much more interesting. I find it sometimes hard to have long distance gunfights using a blaster pistol. It would be cool to use a DC 15 or A280 without having to pick it up from every enemy. Even some blaster pistol variety would be nice. Adding melee weapons would also have been nice. I'm not one of those guys that thinks it's dumb that Kay can knock out a stormtrooper with her fist. It actually is. She should the just for what it's worth, the animation whenever she's attacking somebody with a helmet, the animation should be her like hitting them with like the butt of her gun. It really doesn't. I just don't like. I couldn't punch a stormtrooper in the face and knock him out. I mean, I could like in a serious adrenaline rush, but like I'm a big guy and I've punched people in the face before. I couldn't like knock out a storm. You know what I mean? Like not without like breaking my hand. Have you ever like picked up a stormtrooper helmet? Like it's the material that it is in the movie seems to basically be identical to. It's called plastoid. You know what I mean? It's fucking plastic. It hurts. It is actually a pretty good like defense against things. Like I think the idea is that obviously like blaster bolts don't like the stormtrooper armor doesn't stop a blaster bolt, but it would stop like environment like debris and stuff like that. An explosion, it would keep you from like getting hit with too much shrapnel. Um, it is actually useful. And the idea of like punching a stormtrooper in the face, like especially like a fucking like what she must weigh like 150 pounds woman, you know what I mean? Like there's no way. But I do that being said, without a helmet, the cheap shots she takes, I absolutely buy her knocking people out. But I'm getting so far off track. That is one of my complaints about the game. Lest you think that I think the game is literally perfect and I'm just sitting here standing, right? Okay, anyways, adding melee combat weapons would have shut them. They actually did. Keep playing the game. There actually is a melee combat weapon. In addition, I would have loved more customization options for K. All right, that's all right. Whatever. My point is, okay, this is what I'm getting at. This is what I've been trying to say here. This second paragraph about like I wish you could carry a blaster rifle, and then the third paragraph like I wish I had like raised staff or something like that. Dude, it's not that kind of game. K is not that kind of character. K is a low down, lie to your face, pick your pocket thief. Okay, she like she's not the. I don't know how. Have you ever seen a pickpocket carry an assault rifle? You know, like have you like if you all right, let's try to reframe this and let's put it in a different perspective. Would you play like we're talking about Ubisoft, right? Would you play Splinter Cell and complain that you can't put a Browning assault rifle into your loadout as a third echelon operative? Fourth after I haven't played those games. Fifth echelon, sixth echelon. I haven't played those games in so long. I swear to God, it's like my second favorite game series, and I just forgot what the fuck. Whatever. But like as Sam Fisher, like you wouldn't complain that you can't put a Browning assault rifle in your loadout. You would just be like, well, yeah, of course, it's all submachine guns and silenced pistols. Duh. This guy's like a secret operative that like kills people in the shadows. Like, of course, he doesn't have a. You know what I mean? Like, so why would you? But okay, so like obviously that isn't like unique to this game. People have stupid complaints like that all the time. But here's I just want to point out something though. This is consistent with every not every complaint, but I would say 75% of the complaints that I hear about Star Wars. And it's not like Star Wars in general, it's about specific Star Wars properties, like for example, episode 8 or this game. The complaint isn't that like there are things that they would do differently. The complaint is that they want it to be something else entirely. The complaint isn't that this hamburger isn't very good. The complaint is that it's not a pizza. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? Their problem with this game isn't that you have to carry a pistol, it's that you can't carry an assault rifle. Like they just want to be playing a different game. To which I say, go play a different game. You see what I'm saying? Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, it doesn't make any story sense. And frankly, like, they cover it in gameplay. So, like, you can still pick up an assault rifle. Not only that, but he says he's 10 hours in. Okay, keep playing. You can actually get upgrades and stuff. So that, for example, when you pick up an assault rifle blaster, it has more ammo. Okay? So you can actually play to the play style that you want, but it just wouldn't make sense for her to walk around strapped. Okay? It just doesn't make sense. And as for her having like a different blaster, they make a big deal out of like the Trailblazer, her speeder, and her blaster are all like heritage items. Like the blaster she like found, or I think her mom gave it to her, and she's had it for a really long time, much like Han Solo's blaster. But the difference between her and Han Solo is that she's a little tinkerer and she likes messing with stuff and she likes to fix up the blaster. And that like sets her apart from some other Star Wars characters. It puts her more in line with somebody like Anakin Skywalker. Like that's who she's a little bit more like is Anakin. You know, again, has the same weapon for a long time, isn't afraid to mess with things and tinker. Um and like that's just part of the story of the game and the characterization of the game. And like when you're just sitting here saying like I just want a different game, like okay, and that's and that I just wanted to talk about that just because that is so fucking common with Star Wars. Too many Star Wars fans, too many, far too most Star. I would say like it really honestly these days because I am in my late 30s. I was introduced to Star Wars in 1995 when my dad brought home the VHS tapes, and I literally immediately fell in love. And I loved the special editions. You know, I really don't see the problem with Han shooting second. In fact, if you like really pay attention to like if you go look up the original version of that scene, which by the way, there were about 3 or 4 different versions of that scene before the special edition. You're just not aware of that because you're normal and you're like basic. But there were actually like 3 or 4 different versions of Star Wars in movie theaters. Like they released like the first version had surround sound, but then they made a stereo version. And that stereo version has some different scenes and different dialogue in different scenes and different music in different scenes, for example. So, anyways, um, like none of that stuff bothered me. I liked the special editions. I liked episode 1 when it came out. You know, I can list things about that movie that I enjoy. Like I love the characterization of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I was like 14 or something when that came out. Like, and I immediately picked up on that. I was like, wait a minute, that's like there's something being communicated here. That wise old man who gave his life so the kids could have a chance. Like he was a fucking asshole growing up. He wasn't always perfect. He had to grow to become that person. That stuck with me. And like, you know, episode 2 is so fucking good. Like episode 2, like the last 40 minutes of episode 2 is peak Star Wars. You start off in the arena, and it's like this personal thing, like it's three unarmed people fighting against monsters. But then then the droids come in, and it's like, oh shit, what are we gonna do? But then the clones attack, but then more droids come, and then like before you know it, it's like a full on battle, and then it becomes small again. But in becoming small, it becomes even bigger until like Dracula is fighting a kung fu, like one of those ancient Chinese kung fu wizards, Pai Mei. It's Pai Mei versus Dracula is how the movie ends, and it's so fucking badass. Like, and I always liked episode 2. I don't need to defend episode 3, but episodes 1 and 2, I always liked those movies. I have always liked Star Wars. I have always embraced everything about Star Wars. Not everything. There's some stuff that I don't like, but a lot of that was EU stuff. So when Disney bought them out and Lucasfilm announced that they were like trying to build a more coherent, expanded universe, I was immediately on board. And I don't like that. I can think of 2 or 3. I don't know if they're retcons or mistakes, or we'll just say inconsistencies. I can think of like 3. Like one of them is Kanan, like because there's that comic where Kanan that shows what happened to Kanan during Order 66, and then the Bad Batch doesn't. I mean, it like contradicts it in as much as like it was like actually the Bad Batch was there, but it is a different version of events. And I think that's incredible that in like I think what 12 years of this content that there's only been a couple of instances of that. That is dedication. Shout outs to the Lucasfilm Story Group. Shout outs to Kiri Hart. Shout outs to Pablo Hidalgo. I have so much respect for that team, and I love them so much, and I thank them every day for like the work that they put in. But anyways, um, yeah, like okay, my complaint about most Star Wars fans is that they don't actually like Star Wars. They like lightsabers. They like spaceships. That's it. And then but somehow they dominate the conversation. I have to hear from them all the time, and it's complaints that are just like this guy's complaint about this game, where this guy is like, I I should be using different weapon. It's like, no, like that would be a different game. Go play fucking, well, I guess playing Jedi Fallen Order doesn't. Go play Battlefront 2, which is a good game now, by the way. If you're one of the people who correctly had a problem with Battlefront 2 when it came out and you aren't aware of what that game is now, I can't recommend it enough. And message me and I'll play with you, because that game is still good. It's still a lot of fun. I finished up Outlaws a couple of weeks ago. I've been playing Jedi Survivor. I'm about to finish that, and I think I'll play Battlefront 2, the campaign, again after that. Every year I have like a Star Wars Ramadan where like for like at least a month I just watch nothing but Star Wars shit. That took a different form this year, and I just played like all the modern Star Wars games, um, and I've been really enjoying it. It just comes, it just happens. One day I wake up and I'm like, I need to watch Star Wars, because I love Star Wars so much. I can't watch it all the time. You know what I mean? Like I can't, like when the new shows come out, I'll watch those. When a new movie comes out, I'll watch that. But I'm not like always watching Star Wars. I'm not like a psycho, you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I'd say it's like every 10 to 11th months. That's why I call it Star Wars Ramadan, because it's not like it, like that's the joke. It's like it lasts a month, and it doesn't come like at the exact same time. Like you know what I mean? Like I don't understand the Muslim calendar, but I think that my comparison is accurate. Anyways, my point is, most Star Wars fans don't actually like Star Wars. I'm tired of hearing from them. Go play a different fucking video game. Woo! I think my roommate thinks that I'm insane.